Hey guys, in today's video we're going to be fixing a coolant leak on the E46 Touring. So guys, yes, I had a coolant leak on the E46 Touring. Now I've owned the car for about 7 to 9 months now, and it's been fine. The car has driven absolutely fine, it's given me no issues, and except for this tiny leak. It is a small leak, but it does leak over time, and if I drive the car harder it will leak more. So it is a coolant leak. The way I discovered this leak was my expansion tank light was on in the dash, and when that light comes on, that means the expansion tank is low. But coolant, not the system, not the engine, but just the expansion tank. And I'll just say this, not once has the car overheated. That was the most common issue, that there's air in the system. And there was. I opened this the video out and there was lots of bubbles, lots of air coming out. They're like, cool, okay, cool, this is sick, this is fine. Now everything was bled. Then I went to tighten the screw up again, and I tightened it too much and I broke it. The hole and coolant was slowly breaking through, then it just shot out. Then the screw inside got stuck on it, but this part was so fragile that when I pulled and screwed it out, this whole thing just came out. I've got all these parts. I want to change it because I'm going on a long road trip. I'm going to Melbourne for the Grand Prix. Replace this, show you the steps to replace this, and I'm going to see how the car drives, blah blah blah, which I'll all include in this video. And then, sorry guys, I'm going to cut myself off there because none of this worked. None of the repairs that I was doing at this point in time worked. It actually made the problem a whole lot bigger, a whole lot worse, and the car was actually out of action for about 4 weeks. So let's talk about what exactly was wrong with my E46 Touring. So yeah, the E46 Touring is broken. Well, it was broken, it's fixed now, but yeah, it was out of action for about a month. I had no car to drive since the DC5 was also out of action, so that was really complicated to work around, but we made it and pushed through, and the car is now repaired. But it was a can of worms is an understatement. There was a lot of things wrong that no one would ever guess. Well, not no one, my mechanic guessed, but that I would never have guessed because I just can't see it. I'm driving, or I'm only working on the car when it's not being driven, so I don't know how everything is going, where everything's going when the car is running and moving. But there's a lot. I'll read out to you what the mechanic has done to the car. So I gave the car to Yas at On Edge Auto. Now these boys really look after me. Yas really looked after me. Like, he took the car under such short notice, and he repaired the car as quickly as he could and to the best quality. The car is now so good. The car's running a whole lot better than it was before. And yeah, I'm just happy to have my car back. So thank you so much, Yas from On Edge Auto, for taking my car on. I know it was a big headache, considering it's a Euro, but Yas has done some really amazing work on my car and of course a whole bunch of other cars, so make sure you check out On Edge Auto as well. Okay, talking more on the E46. So at the start of the video you would have seen that there was a leak, and I said it was from the expansion tank and the hose that's connected to the expansion tank. I was wrong, and I've never been so wrong before. So this whole time since I've owned the car, I thought that was leaking from the expansion tank. Then I thought it was leaking from the hose that's connected to the expansion tank, but no, I was completely wrong. So now I will give you a visualization and go to the car and show you. But think of it like this here. We have the radiator that sits like this, and we have the expansion tank that sits here. Now there's a hose that connects the radiator, the expansion tank, and back to the car. So where that hose meets the radiator, on the radiator itself, it was slit, it was cracked. So there's coolant leaking from there. Now it was a small crack, but over time this coolant just pissing out and it's going onto the floor. And this whole time I thought it was leaking from the expansion tank, which on the old one I had broken. So it wasn't actually leaking from where I broke it, the screw hole. It was actually leaking from the radiator slit. Now, here's where it gets a bit bigger. When I gave the car to Yas, before I gave the car to Yas, after I fixed that hose, the car was overheating like crazy. I mean, like mad. I fixed that thing on a Saturday, then on Sunday I went to go pick up a sub and amp, which you guys will see in another video. And the car overheated, like properly overheated. Temp gauge shot up. I panicked. I parked the car up. I left it there. Went to go pick up the sub and then came back. But yeah, steaming. The car was steaming. There was hot steam coming out of the expansion tank, which means the water and coolant in there was just evaporating. There was so much steam and vapor coming out of there while driving, so it was a very tough thing to deal with. And the coolant was obviously leaking, right? It was either getting evaporated or leaking out. So each day I was topping up so much until I said, this is enough, I can't do this. The car's overheating now, I can't drive to work, I can't risk it. I can't risk blowing up this motor. So I dropped the car off the Yas, and even on the way there it was steaming up, so that was that part. So here I thought that, hey Yas, I think the whole system is kind of busted. I supplied him a radiator and a couple of the coolant bits. I said, yeah, here you go Yas, that's the car. Now, I just thought it was that. Now I'm going to read you all the work that has been done by Adaptor. And I will show you guys at the car, but it is kind of hard to see because it's not stuff that you actually can see. But here we go. Okay, ready? Following labor carried out for radiator replacement. Okay, this is what I said, radiator replacement, because I thought it was just going to be a radiator and a bit of cooling pieces. Remove the front bumper. Remove headlights. Remove power steering and air conditioning unit off radiator, plastic holder. Remove front radiator support. Remove radiator. Now, Yas then inspected the engine bay for any damage or wear on cooling system and components. You listen to this one. Modify leaking power steering lines including fluids. So actually, the power steering lines were also pissing out. I always thought, and you know what, that makes sense because while driving the E46, the steering was a bit rough. And I just thought, it's just the E46 thing, just an old car thing. But no, so the power steering was actually leaking, and not by a little bit. It was like pissing out from the from the hoses that were connected to the power steering. They were leaking, and I just thought, because both things are leaking, and once it hits the ground, it's just on the road, it's black. I can't tell what it is, because it's black or clear. It was power steering. So I had a coolant leak and a power steering leak, and the power steering leak I didn't even know. I couldn't even fathom that. What the heck, my power steering is leaking. So yeah, the power steering was leaking, and yes, what Yas did was, because those lines, they're really weak lines and there's plastic bits as well, so Yas actually didn't get a new set or a replacement. He modified them and sort of upgraded them, I guess. He used, he fixed the lines and he used like brass fittings to ensure it was a lot stronger otherwise, because the plastic bits, they just piss out, they break and they piss out. So Yas has modified that and made that a whole lot better so it doesn't break, because replacing it with stock parts it's going to break again. But that was that part. Now here we go, clutch fan replacement. So the whole reason why the cooling system has basically failed is because the clutch fan was actually not working. Now it was working, but only when you're driving, so when you're at like mid to high speeds, or when the heater is on pumping. And right now it's colder, I guess, but a month ago it was pretty hot. Actually, a month ago, when the day the car overheated, it was 45 degrees and the car overheated. So yeah, I never really thought maybe it's the fans are not working because you can see the fan spinning. At times when I'm driving the car or when I've just parked up, it's spinning, but it's actually slowing down. So what is happening is that no matter what temperature the car is at, while driving, I guess, because there's a pull fan and then there's a clutch fan. So there's a pull fan in front and then we have the clutch fan. Excuse me. So the pull fan is getting air and then sending it to the clutch fan, which is spinning it while driving at high speed, right? Which is why I never had any issues while on long drives where motorway going 100 and stuff. The car never overheated or leaked, so the car was fine. But at low speed, stopping and starting and stopping, the car was definitely overheating a lot and leaking. So once the car comes to a stationary or slows down, the clutch fan just stops working. So a lot of the times where I overheated, it's because I was sitting at a light. I'll be sitting at the light and I'm just thinking, something steaming, and then look at the temp gauge is creeping up. I think, shit. So Yas actually found that out. He replaced, so he did all the cooling system, replaced the top hose, replaced the expansion tank, replaced the radiator, And we also replaced another part, so I've got to talk about this part first. We'll come back to the power steering. So we'll come back to the fan, because the fan was replaced last. So underneath the radiator, right, I'll show you again, I'll try my best to show you guys. So we have the radiator, and then underneath the radiator, it connects back to the car and the auto trans. So where it connects, right, there's like this weird like 3 hoses, like it's a bit weird, I'll show you a picture. That was completely busted, right? So when Yas pulled the radiator, he looked and that was busted. So it was actually leaking from there too, where the auto trans, it's like a coolant reservoir thing, not a reservoir, like a coolant return something. It just flows coolant from the engine, radiator and transmission back. I don't know what the fancy word is, but yeah, that was gone. So that was actually leaking from there too. So there was a whole bunch of leaks that it was just impossible for me to see until either I pulled it all apart or until Yas pulled it apart, which thankfully Yas did pull everything apart and inspect, which he mentioned he did inspect. So that was another thing that was broken, and all these parts, right, they took a while. The main reason why this took about a month is because we'd find something wrong and we'd have to order the part in, and it would take at least 2 weeks or minimum a week to get here. So that was a hassle of dealing with that. But yeah, that was that bottom part that was also broken. I would just find that, source that, and then yeah, get that fixed as well. So once Yas got that, he pulled it all back together, put the whole car back together, and then yeah, and then he saw the power steering leak, fixed that. Then he saw this when he went while testing the car, because he bleeded the whole system as well. He realised that the fan's not turning on because the car's sitting there overheating, and he has to think what's going on. And of course, he's got his team there so he can visually see what's going on. And yeah, they deducted that obviously the fan wasn't working. So what Yas did also tried was, when the fan was spinning, he literally got his finger and touched it, and it just dead stopped. So that fan is actually supposed to be spinning at like a similar speed to the motor, right? Because it's a clutch fan and it's directly connected to the engine. As fast as the belt is going, the fan should be spinning just as fast, right? And it should be tough, it should be strong, and it should be loud. And it was none of those things. It wasn't tough, it wasn't loud, it wasn't strong for sure. So Yas deducted that, yeah, this fan is busted. And if your fan is busted, there's our culprit. There's our culprit for everything that was actually wrong with the whole car, with the whole cooling system. The fan was not cooling anything and the radiator just basically shut itself. Okay, so now we know that because of the clutch fan not working, the radiator shut itself, cracked, caused leaks, and caused the bottom connecting pipe to leak, and the top hose of the expansion pump tank to leak as well, because that's where it was cracked. So the radiator was busted, that was all done, and then of course the clutch fan saved the day. So how is the car now? The car is not a whole lot different, but the car is definitely different. Now the cooling system is tip top. The car heats up and cools down, you know, just as it would, I guess, for a VEMO. The car actually drives better. The steering feels improved, and because obviously it's not leaking and pissing me out while I'm turning. And they call it the fan, right? Fan, I'm telling you, dude, the fan is so loud. My wagon is actually loud. Yeah, I forgot how loud it was when I got it back. I'm like, damn, this car's actually kind of loud that it's kind of annoying sometimes. But dude, with the new clutch fan, that thing is strong. That thing is really strong. It spins fast and it's loud. It is really loud, dude. When I turn the car on, fan turns on and starts spinning, you can hear that thing, man. You can hear that thing from probably a minimum 10 meters away. You can hear that fan spinning. It's loud as while driving. Not while the car's stationary when the car's going, while driving, you can hear that fan spinning. And like, I just thought, damn. I said to Yas, dude, I've never heard this fan spinning this fast, this loud. Definitely the fan was a problem before because I never heard it. So now that the new fan's in there, the car is breathing a whole lot better. It's a whole lot cooler now, which thank God. You know, I was very worried about this car. I thought, you know, this is it, the E46 is over. I was panicking. I thought I have to buy another daily and just get rid of the car, because I really like that car. You know, I've grown an attachment to it, even though I have only had it for about maybe 10 months. It hasn't been a year yet. Almost, it's coming on a year soon. But yeah, I love that car, and I just put the Lancer plates on 23 Divine. We'll do a little video about that because there's a bit of history there. But yeah, I've grown attached to the car, and I really didn't want to get rid of it as mad and as angry as I was, because I was pretty pissed at how can this happen. Because a month is a long time, and arranging another car, transport, working things around, it's a big thing to do with, and the nature of me, the way, you know, I always need to drive somewhere, so that was that. But alhamdulillah, you know, the car is back. Eid Mubarak to everyone who celebrated Eid. I hope you all had a blessed Eid. But apart from that, yeah, the car is now back. That fan, right, so I didn't have time to come home and break my fast and eat with my family. So I had the car back already, right? So I went into, after work, I just went to Porter's drive-thru. Dude, and this drive-thru, right, I forgot where it was. It was on the way back. The drive-thru was like all covered, so there's walls everywhere. Bro, I couldn't hear the car. I couldn't hear the radio, couldn't hear nothing. All I heard was a fan. I turned in, I'm going in, and I'm like, oh, you turn the corner, in the drive-thru, right, going slowly. Let's go, bro, that fan, that sound, and that sound is bouncing off of the wall, and I'm like, damn, it's kind of like a bit of a turbo, and it's going shh. But yeah, it's the fan, so that's a good sign when the fan is working and everything is working. So I'm very happy to have the car back. There's a bit of a problem. It's probably a really big common issue on E46s and M54s. The expansion tank is crap, and everything. You know, being with the cooling system, it's garbage. It's honestly garbage. I think up till after the E90, it got better. The F series probably has similar issues. I guess the G series, they definitely would have, with the amount you buy them for. I'm sure they fixed a lot of the cooling issues from previous models, because they kept using plastic parts, even on the E90s, which is the V8 M3s. Even though they have the same issues because they all have plastic cooling parts. So E36, E46, the E90s, they all have similar issues because of cooling and plastic parts. All M54s have that same issue because they all have the same system with expansion tank that connects to everything else. So yeah, I'm just happy it's fixed. Before this video ends, I'll show you in the car, or I'll probably will input some stuff in between while I'm talking, just to show you guys. But we'll just go to the car now. Okay guys, so looking at the motor here, so you obviously can't tell what is going on, right? So I've shown you the photos where Yas has taken everything off, the bumper, the headlights, this whole cover, everything, you know, this piece here, this whole piece. But anyway, I also put a new air filter in there because that was kind of polluted with coolant that was leaking. So somehow that got into the area there, and the air intake was kind of wet. I'm not wet, but green spots coolant. So I got a brand new one, so brand new air filter in there. I was going to do a custom setup or whatever, you know, let's leave it as stock as possible so there's no more problems. So obviously Yas took this out, this was out of the way, so you can see the cooling system here. So this hose has been replaced, this hose that connects from the motor underneath here and to the expansion tank. Now this expansion tank is also new, and this screw is new. I have a couple of these screws as spares in case they break, which they probably will. So this hose here, which connects to the expansion tank and back to the car, and this is into the radiator. So this is what I was talking about. It was actually leaking from here. It's hard to see because it's sunny, but not even a shadow yet. So it was leaking from here, right? So this part is actually the radiator, and that's the hose. So where it connects here, right, underneath here, there was a slit, and that's where it was pumping. As you can see, the radiator here, that silver bit, that's the radiator. That's the new radiator. So it's silver as, it's very much in good condition. It's brand new, and this is the clutch fan, which you see even right now, it's so tough, it's tight. You can see there, all new. As you can see there, clutch fan all new. It is a brand new one. It's good. It works. It does its job. So the things that were replaced, I said, well, the expansion tank, the screw, the radiator itself, the clutch fan, and there's this pipe underneath. So, and obviously the power steering lines that were leaking as well. So I'm not sure what that is, to be honest. But yeah, those were leaking. Yeah, new radiator and new thing. I'll give it a start. Now obviously the clutch fan is on already. Look how fast it's going.
fuel air pumping out. So the car is a whole lot cooler now. Much cooler. Yeah, so obviously the car is in a lot better condition now. Everything's great. So again, just to reiterate, the bottom coolant hose, which you can't see from underneath the car, is actually connected to the bottom of the expansion tank. So that bottom part, the expansion tank, the screws, the top hose, the radiator, and the clutch fan. And 7 would be fixing the power steering. So 7 things that went wrong, which caused the car to be out of commission for at least a month. So glad the car is back, and yeah, back on daily duties and nothing more. That's it.
And that will end, you know, that video, that cooling nightmare. It's a very big nightmare, but I'm just happy that the car is back. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Now that the E46 is back, I'll be doing a couple more videos on it. I had a few things lined up from before, from last year, that I never really posted. Like head unit, no one knows about the head unit, but I will show you guys the installation and how I did that. Of course, I mentioned the sub and the amp, and I think I'm going to do a reverse camera as well, and just whatever comes up for the E46, like this, you know, this came out, I filmed it, stuff like this, because you guys seem to like the E46, depending, you know, looking at the views and the analytics. But of course, as always, we've got more stuff coming for the A24, getting closer and closer. But apart from that, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next E46 video.
This dog doesn't like me.